Hey there, Scorpio. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Subscribers, welcome back. I'm glad to have you here. And if you're new to this channel, make sure you click the subscribe button and ring that bell out beside it, and they will be sure to notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide at this channel here, give it a big thumbs up and share with your loved ones. Maybe even save it to your own playlist. All right, so Scorpio, we've got some things going on here. We're going to take a peek into what it is. At the top, we have joy, window. Travail is ending, fruit bearing, new energy, clarity, and heaven on earth. I'm really getting an inkling towards the fruit bearing going on here in the new energy. So let's see what we've got. At the top, crowning your spread, we have 44. Really, it's the initiator is what we have going on here. Woman holding a heart. So although it looks like you're turning towards love, I see that you've kind of turned your back on love. Like there's a little bit of old days going on, like when hell freezes over. Like part of you is really embracing this new thing, but yourself needs to thaw out. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do to thaw out. So next, now I don't do inversions, but inversions are always allowed to come into any reading, meaning I don't keep my cards inverted because then a previous sign's reading would be impacting your reading, and I just ain't down with that. So I keep them upright, and they're welcome to come out however they need. So when inversion shows up, it's pretty important. So here in Temperance, it's immediately talking to me about your mind. You're wanting to do mind over matter, and you've like subdued some of your mystery. But Scorpio, mystery is part of your allure. It's part of who you are. And some of you, they're saying some of you and something about you at the same time, which is that stumble there. So there's something about some of you, is what I would say, about masking and hiding your beauty. I wonder why that is, Scorpio. What triggered your mindset to be that way about love, about this idea of love and what it looks like, kind of like the romantic gestures, that type of thing? Does it go back to your childhood? Does it go back to how you've seen others behave? Or maybe there's some stigma in like the Hallmark card era that you're not too cool about. You're like, who says it has to be one day a year to love my mom? How come the only day I give gifts is on Christmas? You know, it could be some mindsets like that of really wanting to test the status quo and authority over you deciding who and how you love. Interesting. Interesting. Whoa, and so I'm looking down at the card beneath it, y'all, and I've got to tell you, I mean, it made my eye twitch. Woo! Okay, because even though this card is upright, it is showing to me an inversion of energy, that you haven't been able to receive your type of love. Okay, so maybe you think that your type of love is different, but if you haven't ever looked at, there's a book called The 5 Love Languages, and it was somebody who was like a marital counselor or something like that, and found that the majority of problems or disconnects or not seeing eye to eye or breakdowns in understanding was occurring because people have 5 basic love languages, and they go in different orders depending on how you view and see love and how you receive love as well. So this coming in this way, it actually looks like it's going backwards. So let's take it. It should look like the, oh man, it's making my head pulse. It should be like this, the waters of love washing you and nourishing you. I mean, a tiger is very at home in the water. They have no problem with that. It should be washing and nourishing you. But there's something in the way. It's gone all upside down, and you're trying to get to it. That's the mindset. You're trying to get to it, to have it, to be it. But that's outside of who you are. It's like a mindset of having to follow a certain prescription, a certain way. But you can't do that. If you're an author, if you're a writer, you might understand formulations of writing. Say that you're a poet, that maybe you do it in certain formulas. But say your soul wants to free flow. It wants to do like spoken word or open mic night, that type of a thing, because it loves the edge of originality and spontaneity of being on that precipice of the unknown. So dumping old mindsets, dumping those formulations, those things that really box and hem you in, the logic, bypassing that and getting into creative flow, but getting inside of that flow, not trying to create the flow. But I would say here, a way to get comfortable with it is surrender and submit to the flow when it comes. So getting in line with your own nature, getting in that will begin the next channel that we have. that struggle, that bit of being upended and having the cart before the horse, which doesn't serve you and leaves your mouth empty and dry, that you begin to get that wetness of life. You begin to get that nourishment and that reciprocation, the fruit coming forth, because the pot is being able to hold the water and thus nourish the plant, the tree. And that brings in this new energy, and begin to get on the page with your heart. I mean, look at you here going, hey, let me pull back and expose it. Look, I got a heart. I'm living in my world. It's greening up. It's coloring up. And it's starting to feel pretty good. You know, I had a couple of snags along the way, a little bit of a learning curve, but I've figured it out. I have figured it out, and I'm beginning to show who I really am. And not only show the world, but see it for myself. That's why I'm willing to share it and to show it and to connect. So down beneath, it's interesting because this oak leaf here, which is obscuring his sexuality, his masculinity, is kind of like right here. This is what you're obscuring. A whole lot of something, something going on beneath the surface. Now, you've gotten this upper part going, which is great, because a lot of times with Scorpio, it can be relegated to the lower half, just moving out of instinct and intimacy, that type of thing. But here you've gotten intimate with yourself. You've gotten to know yourself because you wanted this flow. You wanted it coming in the way of nature that is meant for all mankind. You know, that you're not the exception to the rule, that you get to have the full scope of life and enjoy the deliciousness and the full spectrum of it as well. So the Queen of Wands, you trying to find the Queen of your Wands, Mr. Something Something Scorpio here? Look at that. That's what's beneath your oak leaf going on. A whole lot of earthy deliciousness, being able to imbibe in all the delights and the full richness of life. And it's a finery. It's well, like that romantic, you didn't like that it was just supposed to look like a box of chocolates and some roses. You're wanting to be able to explore the fullness of it and what it looks like to you. You have you're expressing a very Taurian energy here, which makes sense because Taurus sits across, and so it can carry a lot of that deep, intimate, long drawn out passion, some passion play sessions, like taking time to really eat your cake or suck on that bonbon. You don't just have to pop it in, devour it down, and move it on. You're kind of saying, I want to spend some time with this, exploring this, and getting intimate with the physical side of it, of the unction of life, of really all the nuances and the wooing going on, the way it rolls across your tongue, or maybe even the way your own voice sounds when you sing, you know, singing in the shower or replaying a song 15 times because it feels that good and it's your new jam. You're really being able to let it penetrate the layers. I like that. And that brings a shocking wake up over here. Okay, this is a change. The environment is changing because this is more like an electrical storm, and that's when the environment needs to be charged up, which is good because you were talking about greening up your hang on now about greening up your world over here, and that really goes back into this energy, right? The way you green up the environment is through the lightning strikes. The lightning charges the environment, and that's why if you'll see old timers gardens, they'll often have these little posts and string going around their garden plot, and they'll tie tin pie plates to it, or those little foil pie plates. And it's because when the lightning storm comes, when those things come, it channels the nitrogen inside that formation, and it brings that electric charge in there, and it greens up the plants. I mean, I've gardened, I've seen it. I didn't necessarily use those, but after you have a storm that has a lot of lightning in it, the plants are 5 times as green, and their leaves are fatter and perkier and healthier, and like not just upright, but you can see they're stolid, that they're stayed, that they're beyond solid. Okay, so that's the determination that you're bringing in here, and this card is called Sacrifice, and it's number 40. It's about having made the full circuit and the full cycle. So as you've moved through these energies and you've begun to explore it, you're deciding that this is the world that you want, that you're committing to. You're committing fully to yourself and how you see love and life. Not just this old, Hallmark Valentine's Day, that you want to live a life that's on purpose every day. You want to have the fullness of pleasure every day, that you want to believe in the stuff that dreams are made of, and not let others determine and saying, oh, that doesn't exist, get your head out of the clouds, all love fades, or people get older, and blah, blah, blah. You know, you're just like, I love it because the horns are way more the intent and focus than the ears. They're like the spiritual ears. And you're going, just shut up. I ain't going to listen to that stuff. Anybody got time for that? And you're stepping into this new power, this new environment, and deciding what world is going to rest on your head, what world you're going to bear and to bring in and to move forward. Ooh, I love it. Look at that. That's the reiteration of that Taurian energy. Now, this particular card in this deck, okay, this Queen of Wands is very Taurian, even though I know Taurus is an earth sign. It is that elegance, that devotion to home and that personal life, being full of pleasure in all that you desire. Ooh, they just switched places, girlfriend. Get back down there. So underneath this sacrifice in the bull, we see a reiteration of sacrifice, the death card. But I love it because what you're saying here is until death do us part. That's big, yo. Okay, Scorpio. You're marrying yourself fine like wine until death do you part, and committing to yourself full force like that lets in the fullness of your life. The relationships that bring you meaning, the job, the career, the purpose, the service, the mission, the commission, and just even the dailies, all of it. Look at this. Look at the beautiful divine patterns of life weaving across her face. She's looking gently at you like a wise mother, having seen all the stages of life and yet is still coming forward in that feminine beauty. And that feminine beauty here for you means that internal purpose, like something that was only known for you, but now you're able to share it with the world because you've committed to yourself. Dang. A crown of glory. I love that. And you have a whole new spiritual world coming in alongside you too. So that's there. Okay, so she's saying, whew, whew, shake it up. Tell them joy, tell them joy. Some of you may need to willingly shed some old totems. Like if you associate with certain animal figures and things like that, do some retrospect and sit with it and listen to it and ask yourself, your soul, this magnificent new power of your world about how do I feel about that now? Because sometimes they can mask themselves and keep saying, hey, I've always been here. You can always trust me. Da, 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 da. Well, that was an old mindset, remember? It was an old way. And for me personally, a lot of people with wolf totem top would be drawn towards me. And everybody's like, well, you know, the wolf is the warrior and da, 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 da. No, the wolf is the wound. And have a very strong Chiron placement. And as we know, Chiron is incredibly active in the self right now, in the first house, right, in Aries. And they've been telling me for a long time that the wolf has to do with the wound. And the thing is I wasn't carrying a wound, but people would come and inflict their wound on me so that I could be just like them. And they don't see it. They saw that they were spiritual leaders and guides. But yet I would often be the first that had been to speak up about that mistreatment. And people would be like, no, you're just sensitive, Joy. But then 2 years later, 20, 30, 40 different people had shown up saying that same healer had done this to me as well. Okay? And I had never met them. But they were like, Joy, you're right. And do you think I want to be right about that? Mm-mm. But thank God for that experience. So now I can come and tell you, clean out your totem. That's what this wise mother is saying. Get new energies surrounding you, not just people. They're telling you to change your whole world. And that doesn't mean all of them have to go, because there are those that are pure and devoted and that will change and transition with you. Like not all wolves retain the wound. But you can move on from that, but you have to come to the full knowledge of who they are and how they are serving in your life. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So next we have coming in strategy, red fox. You want to see what life on the surface is like. You're ready to leave these dark, murky depths, and they weren't ugly. They're beautiful. Look at this. But you're talking about how it polarized your vision. It caused you to be intimidated, and not in the way that other people are. It was like a confident intimidation, but therefore you could sometimes be the intimidating party, and you were on a mission to connect and wondering why others didn't connect or why they failed your expectations or things like that. It just simply becomes of where you were located. All right? So now you're taking a higher up seat, a bigger position of authority in your life. You've done this command, this control. You found the power of your own world, remember? And the beauty and the life and the intelligence of how to green it up, the intimacy coming in fully with yourself. You know, even aligning with new spiritual energies around you, because you've so stepped up into a whole new world that it's like you've almost raised the bar. You've opened up an entire new dimension for all of us. See, I love it because each sign is doing fantastic things for the development of all mankind, because we are all connected. And so by giving yourself permission and having the tenacity, that Taurian bullheadedness of like, no, I'm going to live a life that's full and rich every day on my terms and how I see and view love for myself as well as those around me. That's why it's saying, well, okay, well, come on up from where you were, because that's not going to help you see things the way you see it now. So your dwelling has now moved up above the red curtain. And here you are, the dawn of day coming in, that freshness, that newness, like that smell of the early morning. Just like, I don't know if you've ever smelled sunshine in children's hair when they've been outside playing and they come and give you a hug. It's that smell of innocence. I love it. So let's see what's going on up under there for you, Scorpio. We have the Eight of Wands coming in. So there was a part of you apparently that was from here long, long ago. That's pretty much where you originated from before you fell. You said before the fall. And that was your heaven. And so now you're going to have heaven on earth, and they're bringing down your heaven here, which is you, the new you, the one that has that buoyancy, that innocence, that there aren't the Mars on the mind, the stains, the tattoos, the blockages, the breakages on the mind. Now, you know, we may have scars on the outside, but that's all right. It's our story. But your heart is made new. Your mind of the heart is made new. And it operates in that innocence and that beauty and that life, and is being brought to life here. Okay? And new patterns of divine intervention are being woven in. Not the way things have always been, and it may not have been the original plan, but life is recalibrating the GPS to get everything on track with your current day and to help you step into the now. And down beneath that, we have one of these credit cards coming in to clarify, and it says downtime is necessary. So you see here how you're under the shroud? This is letting us know, because it came in this way, it's not just sleep, but it's a face up. Okay, so you may be laying down taking some rest, but it's taking some time to wonder, to open your mind to new ideas, new concepts, things beyond language that you can receive in imagery, and then begin to let it seep and percolate into who you are, to then further, they're saying, come alongside here and reveal itself, to make the determination through the Page of Wands of what works for you and how it works for you and how it meets and measures into your life and your personal nature of how you navigate each day. Like for you, you might be a morning person, and it's going to lay out in that kind of a schedule. You're going through so many steps of development here. It's being full and complete, not just from how you see it, but to how you live it. That's being a boss, Scorpio. And that brings in 26, protection. Setting personal boundaries. And you see all the thorns all over her back. They really look like a snow-capped mountain, kind of like snow-covered Christmas trees. Like, you know, every day being a holiday. Being able to make sure you make time for some rest and some recuperation in each day. Some celebration, some fun. Some of those moments where you sit with the bonbons. Remember, whatever a bonbon is to you, whatever a bite of luxury is, taking those moments. But I see them kind of scattered throughout the day. Moments of reflection, of almost mental digestion, of being able to sit and just take a deep breath and just step away from the moment and to rest your mind. And without words, just to let it percolate and seep and move through in a way that it can have meaning to you, and that you don't get backlogged, because then that produces an energy that it almost drives you and buries you back down and messes with the way you see. This keeps you free, and it keeps you flowing, and it keeps you cosmic and open. It keeps your mind pure and clear. Well, you living like a boss, Scorpio. I love that. This is amazing energy, and it's fantastic. Thank you for sharing the Divine Mother coming in and her wisdom with us. That review our totems. You know, review where we're at right now. I'm excited to hear about you stepping into your whole new world and enjoying your life every moment, every day, and in every way. Hey, this is Joy. Bye for now.